High Counselor Vexthana stood before the assembled delegates of the Galactic Council, her ceremonial robes trembling as she prepared to deliver the most important address in galactic history. The vast chamber, which had once echoed with debates about trade routes and territorial disputes, now held representatives from over 400 species, all gathered to witness humanity's formal integration into galactic society. But this wasn't a celebration. It was a warning. "Honored delegates," Vexthana began, her voice carrying across the crystalline amphitheater. "We gather today not to welcome a new species to our galactic community, but to acknowledge a force of nature that has redefined the very concept of warfare." 6 months earlier, the Korthak Dominion had made what they believed was a calculated strategic decision. Humanity's rapid expansion across the Outer Rim territories had disrupted established trade routes and challenged traditional power structures. The Dominion, backed by the military might of 3 allied species, had issued an ultimatum: cease expansion or face the consequences. Humanity's response had been swift and educational. "The Korthak believed they understood military strategy," Vexthana continued, activating a holographic display that showed the former Dominion territory. "They possessed the largest fleet in known space, over 12,000 warships, fortified worlds, and military installations that had stood unconquered for millennia." The display shifted to show current readings of the same territory. Empty space. Debris fields. Silent worlds. In 72 hours, humanity reduced the Korthak Dominion from a galactic superpower to a cautionary tale. Ambassador Elena Vasquez sat in the human delegation section, her expression neutral as she watched the council grapple with the implications of what her species had accomplished. She had been present during the initial negotiations, had personally delivered humanity's counteroffer to the Korthak ultimatum. "One chance," she had told Supreme Commander Zefkar. "Withdraw your fleets, acknowledge our territorial claims, and we'll consider this a misunderstanding. Refuse, and we'll demonstrate why challenging a Deathworlder species is inadvisable." The Korthak had laughed. Their translators had struggled with the concept of a species barely 3 centuries into spaceflight threatening an empire that spanned 60 star systems. What the Korthak failed to understand, Vexthana explained to the assembled delegates, was that humanity doesn't fight wars, they solve problems. And they had classified the Dominion as a problem requiring permanent resolution. The holographic display showed tactical readouts from the brief conflict. No massive fleet engagements. No prolonged sieges. No heroic battles between opposing armadas. Instead, the humans had done something that violated every conventional understanding of military doctrine. They had made the Korthak military infrastructure simply stop existing. "Simultaneous strikes across 63 worlds," Vexthana continued, her voice hollow with remembered shock. "Not orbital bombardments or invasion forces, surgical applications of technology we didn't know existed. Korthak command bunkers experienced what humans call catastrophic structural failure at the molecular level. Their fleet yards dissolved. Their defensive platform ceased to maintain atomic cohesion." Ambassador Vasquez remembered the communication from Admiral Chun after the 12-hour mark. "Dominion military capacity has been neutralized. Civilian populations are unharmed. Their planets remain habitable. Message delivered." "The most disturbing aspect," Vexthana said, "wasn't the scope of destruction, but its precision. Humanity possessed the capability to eliminate entire civilizations, yet they chose surgical removal of military assets only. This suggests a level of technological sophistication that exceeds our ability to comprehend, and a restraint that should terrify us more than their weapons." Representative Keelmoth of the Hegemony Coalition raised a trembling appendage. "Counselor, surely their technology can be studied, understood, countered?" Vexthana's expression grew darker. 3 weeks after the Korthak incident, The humans transmitted technical specifications for what they call quantum destabilization matrices to every council member, not as a threat, but as an educational gift. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just demonstrated superior weapons. They had casually shared the science behind them, secure in the knowledge that no other species possessed the industrial capacity or theoretical framework to replicate the technology. They gave us the blueprints, Vexthana continued, because they know we can't build them. The gap between human engineering and galactic standard technology isn't measured in years or decades. It's measured in evolutionary epochs. Ambassador Vasquez stood, her movement causing every delegate in the chamber to focus on her with mixture of fear and fascination. "Honored Council," she said, her voice carrying easily across the vast space. "Humanity appreciates your concerns about our capabilities. We want to address them directly. 6 months ago, you witnessed what happens when a species challenges us militarily. Today, we want to demonstrate what happens when species choose cooperation instead." The holographic display shifted to show technical readouts that made several delegates' translators emit distress signals. Terraforming technology, faster-than-light communication arrays, medical advances that could extend lifespans across species barriers. "Everything you see here," Vasquez continued, "represents humanity's gift to the galactic community. We're sharing these technologies freely, with no restrictions, no licensing fees, no political conditions." The chamber erupted in confused chatter. Representative Kielmoth struggled to comprehend what he was hearing. "You're giving us technology that could revolutionize our civilizations?" "Yes," Vasquez replied simply. "Because that's what neighbors do. They help each other build better lives." The contrast was stark and intentional. Military challenges met with overwhelming force. Peaceful cooperation met with generous technological sharing. "We hope," Vasquez concluded, "that the galaxy will remember both lessons equally." As the session ended and delegates began filing out, Vexthana realized that humanity had accomplished something unprecedented in galactic history. They had established absolute military dominance, while simultaneously offering genuine partnership. No species would ever again look at humanity and see a potential conquest. They would see the choice, neighbor or cautionary tale. And that choice, Vexthana knew, would define galactic politics for millennia to come.